back to the channel. My name is Amy and I have had double jaw surgery. So since I can speak much better now, I thought I'd quickly run through what happened on the day of surgery. A lot happened. I was obviously on drugs at the time. I didn't manage to film a lot since I actually didn't bring a charger with me, which was very stupid, but it also meant I didn't go on my phone much. And thankfully the lady next to me in the ward let me borrow her charger when I was in hysterics, so literally thank you, she literally was my lifesaver. To start with, my admission time was 11. I had to fast before my operation because I was having general anaesthetic, and in order to reduce the chance of you choking when you got put to sleep. My admission time was at 11, which meant that I could have a light snack such as toast or cereal before surgery, so before 7:30. But I actually was so full that night that I didn't, when I woke up at 7, I wasn't hungry, so I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again at 8:30, ready to wash my hair. My mum then drove me to Luton and Dunstable hospital, which is where I had the surgery. It was about a 40-minute drive for us, so it wasn't far at all. I was allowed to drink water up until 11. I remember I stopped at 10:30, so I think it was 11. I arrived just shortly after 11. I was then taken to a room to speak to a nurse. She took my bloods, my oxygen reading. I then also spoke to an anaesthetist, filled out some forms, consent, and then lastly I spoke to the surgeon. Then I was sent back to the waiting room. I remember that I brought my book with me, so I read about 10 pages of that. Didn't really go on my phone because, like I said, I didn't bring my charger with me. So I literally just had one full battery on my iPhone 10. Bearing in mind my iPhone 10, the battery is awful to last me the whole stay. But I ended up just literally watching the TV. Thank God that TV was there. I was literally right at home watching This Morning and Loose Women. I actually can't remember what they were speaking about, thinking back now. But I remember I was watching TV. I then was called just before 2. I was taken to a room where I dressed into my gown, put on my slippers. I already had my stockings on, I forgot to say, but when I arrived, and also I remember I had to take a urine test just to rule out pregnancy and anything like that. So when I arrived and I spoke to the nurse, I also put on my stockings. So all morning I've been wearing my stockings, which are like knee length tight socks that compress your legs to obviously reduce the chance of clots forming because you're so immobilized. But yeah, I had stockings on, and then my slippers and my gown. All I brought with me was my backpack that had like my change of clothes in it, dressing gown, my phone, tissues, Vaseline, etc. And that came with me everywhere. I was then transferred onto a bed, and then from that bed with my bag I was wheeled into another room, and this was the room where I met the first anaesthetist that I had spoke to earlier and did the consent forms with, another anaesthetist, and then a nurse, and they were obviously getting me ready. They is that a word? Cannula? They put a cannula into my hand. He literally spoke to me like a person, seeing how I was, making sure I was okay. I was given an oxygen mask to make sure that my oxygen intake was high before obviously being anaesthetised. And then he was telling me all about the drugs that he was giving me, and like mentioning drugs to see if I'd actually been taught them yet, which I had not at university. But anyway, he showed me some big ass fat syringe with the actual drug that would put me to sleep, which I cannot remember the name, but he did say. But anyway, he was like, this is the drug that's going to put you to sleep. I was literally there breathing my oxygen, and then I was out. Like, I know a lot of people say that, but genuinely, when I think about being put to sleep, you think about it being gradual, or at least I did anyway. And it was not that at all. Like, I can't even remember him giving me the drug, so I remember him showing me the syringe and then I was out. Next thing I know, I woke up in a dark room. Now I know it was the recovery room. It was me and another patient, literally like 2 beds like this. Someone at a computer here. I woke up. The male anaesthetist, the second anaesthetist, was like, "Oh, you did really well. Like you went straight out. Everything went well. Congrats, etc., etc." I obviously couldn't speak. I literally just woken up. I didn't even realise that it had happened. I was like, "Wait, what's happening? Like, has it happened yet?" I then got wheeled to the ward. I was ward 20. It was me along with 6 other people and 2 of the other patients, and they had also undergone jaw surgery. I think one of them was double jaw and the other one was just one jaw, single. So yeah, I then got wheeled to the ward. I remember just thinking like, what's happening? The nurse gave me my bag. I just managed to somehow like point to the front compartment to get my phone out. A lifesaver was bringing my condiment bottle and having a mirror as a phone case. Honestly, I'd seen videos about people advising about having a mirror with you, and on your phone it's kind of a no-brainer because your phone goes everywhere with you. So I've used my mirror on my phone to death. I literally straight away looked at the mirror at myself and I could tell that I'd undergone surgery. I just didn't know. I was just waking up. The nurse told me what my patient-controlled analgesia button was and what the nurse button was, and if I press that nurse button, a little light would buzz at the top. A nurse would come to me. Pretty self-explanatory. The patient-controlled analgesia, morphine in my case, I could press it whenever I wanted, but obviously like it's set so that you can't overdose yourself. So yeah, there's obviously safety precautions. I only ended up using that twice. Personally, I think I have quite a good pain tolerance, and I don't like to use medication anyway, especially not pain medication, so I tried not to have it. So me pressing it twice kind of emphasised to me that I was in quite a bit of pain to actually press it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you're in the hospital for a reason. You've undergone such a traumatic event, like your jaws have been sliced and realigned. Like, your body is trying to understand what's happening and recover, so it's totally fine to use medication. I have nothing against it. Probably the best time to have pain medication is in hospital because it's so available to you. And I remember they gave me a stocking with like 3 ice packs, so like one here, one here, and one here. Honestly, those ice packs were awful. Honestly awful. Like they were cold, but they literally went warm in seconds. And I felt like such a burden having to ask each time, like, could I have more ice packs, could I have more ice packs? You just had surgery, like, you need so many ice packs. So yeah, I came out of surgery just before 7. Honestly, that night was the longest night of my life. I was so congested. Thankfully, like, I know a lot of people experience nausea, vomiting, loads of blood clots and nosebleeds. I experienced none of that. Thank the Lord, I'm so grateful, because I don't know how I would have dealt with that. Especially because like your jaw is wide shut. Yeah, your jaw's wide shut, so yes, it's gonna come out somewhere, but still, it's just not gonna be nice. Hello, sorry, excuse the change in scenery. There was a lot of distractions, so I'm gonna continue filming in the car. Okay, so from what I remember, I spoke about the night after the surgery, so it was so hard to sleep because I was so congested. My throat didn't hurt, thankfully. Instead of a tube, keep making sure that you can still breathe. Because they operate on your mouth, they can't use the tube that usually goes down your throat. They use tubes in your nose instead. Thankfully, everything was okay. There was no aches or dry throats or anything like that. But I was really congested, and then my mouth felt really hard to swallow. It just felt really really hard and uncomfortable to swallow. Also, I found it really hard to breathe, and therefore it meant that I couldn't sleep. Literally, like, every time I could check on my phone, it was only taken by hour, and I'm not even kidding, like, hour by hour, it was dragging by. Finally managed to get like 2 hours sleep at 9 AM. Woke up, the surgeon, Mr. Sharma, he came to visit me and the other girl on the ward that he did surgery on. He said everything went okay, just to make sure that I keep putting ice on it because I was swollen. That's one thing you could stay on top of as soon as you get the surgery done is ice packs. And I was really hard in hospital because, yeah, like I said before, I just felt like such a burden. I kept on asking for ice packs and then having to get them changed. So he came round, said everything went okay and he'll see me in a couple of weeks' time. He then said also that I'd have to wait for an x-ray and then I'd be discharged home. And he came around and told me this. So then I was waiting for my x-ray. The x-ray didn't end up happening until 2. Me and the 2 other girls on our ward that had jaw surgery all went for an x-ray. We walked to the department. That walk was honestly pretty rough. Like my nose was literally running constantly and I just felt so weak because I hadn't eaten anything. Got the x-ray done. It was really hard because I had to stay still and I literally couldn't breathe through my nose. If you had braces, you'll know, like, it's the one where you have to like bite on it and then the thing moves around your face. It was that machine, that x-ray, and it literally meant that I couldn't breathe through my mouth and I had to breathe through my nose, and I could not breathe through my nose. So literally I had to try a couple of times because I had to step away. I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't breathe. But finally got the x-ray done. Wasn't actually discharged until 6:30. So I got my x-ray done by 2. Got back to the bed. I didn't reattach myself, didn't reattach my cannula with my patient control analgesic because I didn't want to take it anymore. So that helped with going to the toilet because I really hated going to the toilet with my trolley. So I didn't actually end up getting discharged until 6:30. Because it was the weekend, it was actually quite quiet and there wasn't much staff around. So not only was everything quite slow, but also in order to get my prescription, that was also very slow. But she came around at 6:30 and told me I was discharged, went through my medication for me. So I was prescribed an antibiotic, which was co-amoxiclav. Then I also got given a mouthwash and liquid codeine. So the mouthwash was prescribed for twice daily for 10 days. The liquid codeine and the antibiotics was prescribed for 5 days. Literally was in hysterics just before I was actually discharged. I don't know what happened. I was just all over the place, literally. Like, I don't know what I think I had a nightmare and I was scared that I wasn't ever going to be discharged. But the 2 lovely ladies next to me, they were comforting me, making sure I was okay, and that's when the lady allowed me to borrow her charger. Literally was a lifesaver. I was able to charge it. I'm not kidding, I was on 1%. And I think that's what also worked me up. I was scared that I wasn't able to contact my mum. I did ask for a charger on the ward, but they said they didn't have a spare one. So bring your charger. Don't try and be wise like me and think that you won't need your phone, or you'll try and limit the usage if you don't bring one. She let me use her charger and I was able to message my mum. My mum was at work. She wasn't able to pick me up until 8. So I just got changed, laid on my bed, chilled, got my cannula taken out. Honestly, that stung it stung so much, but I was just glad to have it out. Got everything ready to go, walked to the entrance and literally sat at the bus stop. That walk was pretty rough again, but I had my face mask on, and with my face mask you could literally, because I was so swollen, you could see how puffy I was. I didn't care, I just walked out with my dressing gown, slippers, tracksuit bottoms, mask on, glasses. Waited at the bus stop for my mum. Mum picked me up, drove back home, got back home, showered. I don't know how much shower. I didn't actually shower. I sat in the bath, took the shower head off and washed myself that way rather than standing under a shower, if that makes sense. I then went to my pyjamas, had my first meal / liquid, which was kefir coconut drink. I had that in my condiment and I literally like squeezed that in. I know some people say the first thing you have is like amazing because obviously you've gone so long without any food, but when I had that it wasn't actually that great, if I'm honest. But I had it anyway, and then I literally tried to go to sleep. Did not happen. I think I ended up getting 2 hours sleep in the early hours, like maybe from 5 to 7. I just remember it was pretty rough, like I was still congested. Apart from that, that's my experience at Luton and Dunstable Hospital up until being discharged and going back home. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and if any of you have any questions then please leave them below. But honestly, like, even though I'm not even at the end of my journey and I can't even see any visible results yet, I don't regret a single thing. I'm so glad it happened, and yeah, I'm just super grateful that I was able to have it done, because my bite, it wasn't very severe, but it affected how I ate. And yeah, I know that other people have it much more severe and have a lot of other health problems because of it. So I'm super grateful that that wasn't the case for me, but I'm also equally grateful that I was able to have it done and it all went well. So yeah, I'll see you next one. Bye.